it's Ina the Madreader, and welcome to today's video where we will be talking about 2022 romances. And there are a lot. It's an exciting year for romance, and yeah, I'm honestly very excited. I'm not one to really catch up with the releases. In fact, if I reference my current reading tracker, I'm still reading a lot of 2020 releases, not even 2021. And the only 2022 book I have read so far is just Colleen Hoover's Reminders of Him, which was a good read, definitely. So yeah, today I'll just be sharing with you some of the 2022 romance releases in my radar. Some of these books are already out and you can already grab them. I'll try to include some links in the description. But yeah, these are some adult romances. I'll make a separate video for young adult romances. And since I think it's nice to keep tabs on romance releases, I'll probably do other parts of this series in the future. If you guys like it, please do let me know. But yeah, today I have 15 titles prepared. I have my laptop in front of me, if you can see the reflection on my glasses, and I am on each of their Goodreads pages. So yeah, let's just go ahead and look into these titles. The first book I'm super excited about, but I don't know, I haven't got a copy yet, is Weather Girl by Rachel Lynn Solomon. If I haven't mentioned it a million times already on this channel, I am a super fan of Rachel Lynn Solomon. I discovered her with The Date the Night Tomorrow, and I'm super happy that she also branched out to adult romance and, you know, giving us a good balance of the two. So yeah, I've recently hauled some of her older books, her backlist titles, and yeah, this one released last January 11th, and this one is about a TV meteorologist and a sports reporter. They would be scheming together to reunite their divorced bosses with unforecasted results in this charming romantic comedy. Whew. Okay, so we have Ari Abrams, who's always been fascinated by the weather. Her boss, legendary Seattle weatherman, is too distracted with her ex-husband, the station's news director, to give Ari the mentorship she wants. So she approaches sports reporter Russell Barringer, and in the aftermath of a disastrous holiday party, they would team up, and between their secret gifts and double dates, they start nudging their bosses back to each other, and chemistry builds up between the two of them. So yeah, it reminds me of that Netflix movie. I forgot the title, but let's put it here. Yeah, and I think it sounds super interesting. So there. The second book I have here is a book that I won from a Goodreads giveaway, which I am addicted to joining recently, and so far I have won like 6 times already. So it's super fun. But yeah, I got a print copy of Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. It's the reason why I recently read It Happened One Summer, and it's now my favorite romance book. I really fell in love with that one, and I'm super happy about it. So yeah, with the high results I was able to get from the first book, I'm super excited about the second book. And it actually would revolve around 2 characters that you have seen if you have read the first book, which is the sister of the former book's female lead, Hannah, and one of the fishermen working with the former book's male lead, Fox. So here, Fox is famous for being a sexy, carefree flirt, and he knows he's a guaranteed good time, but he meets Hannah. Hannah is back in town, and she has to crash in Fox's place, and right now she is crushing with a colleague, and she wants to get the moves on, and she asks the help of her friend Fox. Unfortunately, even though he is helping her, like, the lines between friendship blur, and they kind of see how sparks fly between them and how the attraction between them is building. So she is wondering what would happen as she is falling for her best friend and with this other man in the equation. So super excited about this one because I just loved the first book so much with Piper and Brandon. So I'm really hopeful to get the same dynamic from them. So there, thank you Goodreads for that copy coming in a few days. I'm sure to be reading those books as well. And this one is another book that's coming out in March, like Hook, Line, and Sinker, and it's A Match Made in Lipa by Carla de Guzman. This one is this was kindly sent to me as well by the Harlequin publicity team, and this one is pitched as childhood friends reconnect as grown-up rivals and maybe something more. And I think this is in the same universe, yeah, as the Laneways. If you've watched my former videos, I've mentioned how much I loved Sweet on You by Carla de Guzman. It's set in the same town in the Philippines, which is in Lipa, Batangas. It's one of my favorite places to visit as well. So yeah, it says here, what's written in the stars isn't always the whole story. So in the first book, we had a cafe and bakery. This time we have a chocolate shop. So chocolate shop owner Kira Luz isn't looking for love, but if fate leads her that way, then so be it. She meets her childhood crush Santi, who is on vacation. Santi is an estranged hotel heir. He finds his footing again when he runs a small niche hotel in Lipa. Yes, it's no Manila, it's not a city, but the upside is seeing Kira again, who is again his childhood friend. So here it says, mixing love and chocolate and family just might get messy, and sometimes messy is exactly what fate had in mind. So that sounds exciting. And again, thank you to Karina Press for sending me a copy. The next book is something that's really hyped in the community. It's coming out in May and many people are anticipating the release of Book Lovers by Emily Henry. Beach read wasn't my cup of tea, and I'm planning to read People We Meet on Vacation soon. Now Book Lovers, I hope I love because, hi, book lover. So there, it says here, one summer, two rivals, and a plot twist they didn't see coming. Oh, okay. So it says here we have Nora Stephen, whose life is books. And she is a cutthroat literary agent. Okay, so she goes to Sunshine Falls, North Carolina for the month of August. And she runs in to Charlie Lastra, a bookish brooding editor from the city. It would be a meet cute if not for the fact that they have met many times and it's never been cute. These are two people working in the publishing industry who accidentally meet together. It's so weird that they are thrown together again and again. And yeah, in this series of coincidences, they discover something, hopefully romance. So there. The next book I have is another bookish book, a bookish romance. We have here Meet Me in the Margins by Melissa Ferguson. It recently released February 15th. And it's about another editor, Savannah Cade, and she works in a prestigious publisher producing only the highest of highbrow titles. And while she is doing her day job of editing, she is also writing a romance novel. And then she also has discovered the Book Nook, a secret room in the publishing house where she finds inspiration for writing. And one afternoon she left behind her manuscript, but when she returned to the Book Nook, she found that somebody has written notes in the margins of the book. And so there's some criticism there. However, the notes took a turn for the romantic. And yeah, she wants now to identify who the mysterious editor is. And yeah, so it says here, Melissa Ferguson's latest book, a love letter to books, readers, and romance, will leave fans laughing out loud and swooning in the same breath. That sounds super exciting. Next is another book that's about books. This time we have Must Love Books. And this one is pitched as The Bookish Life of Nina Hill Meets Younger, in a heartful debut about a young woman who discovers she'll have to ditch the dream job and write her own story to find her happy ending. Again, we have an editor. Nora is an editorial assistant. She sees it as her way to land her dream job. But after 5 years, nothing's happening yet. So eventually, she receives a bad news that they are cutting her off the company because they won't be unable to afford her anymore. So Nora decides to moonlight for a rival publisher to make ends meet. But when Andrew Santos, a best-selling author no one can afford, is thrown into the mix, Nora has to decide where her loyalties lie. Her new dream job, ever-optimistic Andrew, herself, or her future. So this one touches on mental health, happiness, the peaks and perils of being a young woman trying to figure it all out. So this is perfect for anyone looking to get past their own chapter 20-something and build their storybook life. So there. Okay, so the next book I have here is a book that was a Book of the Month pick last January. And this one is a book I ordered as well. It's Love and Other Disasters by Anita Kelly. This is about the first openly non-binary contestant on America's favorite cooking show falling in love for their clumsy competitor. So it's a romantic comedy that is both fantastically fun and would crack your heart wide open vulnerable. Super excited about this one. I just love the cover and I've been seeing high praises about this book, so hopefully I'll be having some fun as well. Next, I have a book by a Filipino author whose last release I loved. We have Know You by Heart by Tiff Marcelo. Last December, I read The Holiday Switch. It's a young adult romance. I loved it. But this time, it's a second book in a series, but I think you can read it as a standalone. This Know You by Heart is about a Filipino-American family owning the Heart Resort. Now, the first book was about the youngest child. The second book, this one, Know You by Heart, is about the oldest child, Chris Puso, which in English is heart. So he'll do whatever it takes to ensure Heart Resort's success. 4.5 years ago, it meant marrying Eden, a woman he admired but didn't love, to access a family trust that benefited them both. So now Eden Puso, or romance author Everly Hart, believes in true love in her novels, but her marriage to Chris was more about funding her writing career and supporting her family than finding happily ever after. So with 6 months until the end of their marriage contract, their marriage of convenience has been a little inconvenient. So now the retreat uncovers their history and their hidden love for one another. Can their relationship survive so their partnership reaches its natural conclusion? Okay. That's interesting. Now, the next read is something I've seen all over Book Talk. Everybody's been loving this book and everyone's claiming the lead to be their new bookish boyfriend, and it's Twisted Hate by Anna Huang. I've already downloaded all of the books on my Kindle Unlimited. I just haven't got time to read the books yet, but everyone's saying that this is the best installment out of all the books because of Josh Chen. It says here he hates her almost as much as he wants her. Gorgeous, cocky, and fast on his way to becoming a hotshot doctor, Josh Chan has never met a woman he couldn't charm, except for Jules Ambrose. The beautiful redhead has been a thorn in his side since they met, but she also consumes his thoughts in a way no woman ever has. So it says here, Twisted Hate is a steamy, enemies with benefits, enemies to lovers romance. It's book 3 but can be read as a standalone, recommended for 18 plus because there's explicit content, profanity, and topics that may be sensitive for some readers. So there. Super excited about that one. I'm sure I'd love it. I'm just sure. Okay, now to the last 5 books. We have Love at First Spite by Anna E. Collins. It says here, falling in love is the ultimate payback in this delightful breezy rom-com about an interior designer who teams up with an enigmatic architect at her firm to get revenge on her ex the only way she knows how, by building a spite house next door. Okay, but yeah, I've always been interested in reading about workplace romances or just romances that touches on the careers of the leads. So yeah, with all of the bookish books, all of the bookish industry centered books here, it's fun to experience this one about an interior designer and an architect. I'm hoping that this would be a very good one. So it says here, we have a grumpy romance hero with a heart of gold, an enemies to friends to lovers story that would delight all rom-com fans. Perfect. And then this one, I've been seeing on the top selling list, bestseller list in Amazon recently while I was searching for books to read on my Kindle. And this one is a chunky 570-page book, Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. So I was supposed to read it this February, but I'm more into reading shorter books this month so I can read more books, finish more books. But I'm eyeing this title. I've been eyeing it for a while now. It's again Things We Never Got Over, and it says here that it's about bearded bad boy barber Knox prefers to live his life the way he takes his coffee, alone, unless you count his dog Waylon. Knox doesn't tolerate drama even when it comes in the form of a stranded runaway bride. We have here Naomi, who was running not just from her wedding but to the rescue of her estranged twin to knock him out, Virginia. Unfortunately, her twin didn't help her. Instead, she just took her car and cash and leave her something unexpected, a niece she didn't know she had. Now she is stuck in town with no car, no job, no plan, and no home, with an 11-year-old to take care of. So she encounters Knox, and in spite of him not liking any complications, there are a lot of complications ahead of him. So there. Ooh, okay. So I think this is gonna be a dramatic one. I'm excited about it. People are loving it despite of the length. So I'm hoping I love it as well. Now we have here a historical romance pick, and look at the cover. I also won this as a giveaway from Goodreads, so thank you so much, Goodreads, for the book. It actually came out today. It's the Good Girl's Guide to Rakes. Today is February 22nd, by the way. It came out today. Again, the Good Girl's Guide to Rakes by Eva Leigh. This book is about a notorious rake and an innocent debutante. So we have Kieran Ransom involved in a massive scandal. He is asked to find a respectable wife or inherit nothing. He doesn't know where to find that girl. But there we have Celeste Kilburn. She is society's darling, beloved by the ton. She has a spotless reputation. But when she was engaged to a stuffy earl, she kind of wants to be scandalous, I guess. So she asks for the help of her older brother's best friend. Guess who? Kieran Ransom. And he would be helping her. They have a deal now. She'll be introducing him to the right social circles while he will help her get to know the scandalous side of London. So there. In between properties and garden parties, Kieran escorts Celeste to rowdy gaming hells and sensual art salons. They spend more time together, attraction builds, desire becomes desperate, and they won't be able to ignore it any longer. Super excited, super excited. And one of the main reviews here in Goodreads was saying, the top one says, dirty talk, dirty talk, dirty talk. Reader, this book gives dirty talk. So, I'd like that. Okay. Next, I have another book about the bookish industry, The Roughest Giraffe by Emily Wimberly and Austin Sigmund Broca, released last January 25. This is about two co-writing literary darlings that they were co-writing literary darlings until they hit a plot hole that turned their lives upside down. So we have here Katrina Freeling and Nathan Van Huysen, the brightest literary stars on the horizon, their co-written books topping bestseller lists, but they ended their partnership on bad terms and they didn't tell the public about it. So there, facing crossroads in their personal and professional lives, they were forced to reunite, and they go hole up in a tiny town in Florida, trying to finish a new manuscript quickly and painlessly. Passion and prose pushes them together in the Florida heat, and they will learn that relationships, like writing, sometimes take a few rough drafts before they get it right. So there. Next, we have Lucky Leap Day. I honestly just like it for the cover. It's a book about friends to lovers, and it says here, a whirlwind trip to Ireland is supposed to end with a suitcase full of wool sweaters and souvenir pint glasses, not a husband you only just met. So I think this is going to be we have a screenwriter, Cara Kennedy. She gets caught up in the Irish tradition of women proposing on Leap Day. She thought it was all just a dream until she wakes the next morning with a hot guy in her bed and a ring on her finger. On top of everything else, her husband has a dog who thinks she is a perfect surrogate mother. And deciding to work things out, Finn and her new fur baby would accompany her to LA. So yeah, it asks the question, with limited time on his tourist visa, will Finn be able to convince Cara that she is the right girl for him, or will time run out on their Hollywood ending? There. And the last book I want to read, hopefully someday, a 2022 romance release, Before We Grow Old by Claire Swatman. It was released last January, and it says here, some people are just made for each other. When 7-year-old Fran first met Will, they knew they were made for each other. For 11 years, they were inseparable, and then when they became 18, Will just disappeared. 25 years later, Will is back. Is fate trying to give them a second chance? So yeah, just like the title. And yeah, I think one of my favorite tropes is second chance romance. I'm very hopeful for that one. So yeah, those are all 15 books, 15 romance books that I think deserve the reading. I hope you guys check them out. If you have read any one of these books and you have thoughts, please share them with me. If you have recommendations on which one I should read next, if you have also book recommendations 2022 releases that I haven't mentioned in this video, just feel free to comment them down below so that other people can check them out, so that I can check them out and maybe feature them on the next video like this. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you had some great recommendations from these choices, and yeah, may you always be in the mood for reading. See you guys on the next one. Bye!